Hello, everybody. I'm back. I am happy to see you and talk to you. And my name is Robin Da Vinci, and I have been around a long time, and I've experienced a lot of stuff. I've worked with a lot of high net worth individuals and businesses, and I've helped with budgeting and property management, and I've worked really hard to bring a lot of knowledge to you that you might not know. And it's not bad that you don't know, but you might not know. So today, I kind of want to talk about a taboo subject, which is the truth about capitalism and the truth about socialism and how the two work together. And they do work together because it's impossible to have an entirely capitalist society. And we know that it doesn't work if we have a completely socialist society. Okay, so here you go. Capitalism run amok will definitely be our undoing. Capitalism means that it's really sort of a whole deregulated world. We can talk about our country. And that in order to succeed in a capitalist country, you have to have great ideas. You charge what the market will bear. You go out there and you make money. And when you make money, other people make money. And isn't this all wonderful? And, at one point it was the trickle-down economics, where in a capitalist society, those who are thriving with their money, that will trickle down to the middle class, to the lower class, and they'll all thrive. And won't we all be happy? And, we can create and be inventive. We can make the electric car. We can have rockets to the moon, have deliveries the next day. And we can have this whole thing where everybody's thriving. No, that's not how capitalism plays out. Capitalism plays out partially. We need to regulate certain things. If we didn't regulate the airlines, a trip from LA to Phoenix would be $6,422 because that's the way they could pay dividends to their investors. And that's the way that the CEO gets a lot of money. That's how it works. You keep raising the price until, people push back. But as long as there's rich people that can buy their medical help and they can, get things because they have money, they're going to look down and say, well, why should I change if just because they couldn't figure out how to make $1 million or they couldn't figure out how to be a billionaire? I mean, I figured it out. Why can't they? And so all the way along when I was raised, it was if you work hard and you're determined and you're honest, you will be able to take care of yourself and your family, and you can have all the things you want. 2 cars in the garage, a house in the suburbs, your kids can go to school or private school, and you'll have that stuff. Well, it turned out that's not true. That's really not true. And so what had to happen was, because capitalism doesn't work that way and it doesn't trickle down, because even those people that open companies and provide jobs, that's work you're doing. It's not trickling down to your lifestyle and your vacations and all of that. You're just working really hard to make money for the person that owns the corporation. That's not a bad thing, but that's what you're doing. So then we have this socialist side where we take care of our military, which we should, and I don't think we take care of them well enough. Believe me, I can't even go to that place yet. I mean, that might be another 6 videos on how we don't take care of the men and women that have gone into combat for us. But then again, there's a capitalist opinion on that, saying they chose to do that. So you got to listen to what your politicians are saying and understand that they're not necessarily on your side. Their rhetoric may sound right, but they're not really. Case in point, what's going on now in our whole political system. They are wanting to tell you capitalism works, but they're all being paid by yours and my tax dollars. And when they get out of the House or the Senate, they have benefits for the rest of their life, insurance for the rest of their life, a pension for the rest of their life. In a capitalist society, that wouldn't necessarily happen unless you worked for a corporation, you put in your years and you retire and you've got a 401k that's invested in capital corporations and all these different things. Basically, our representatives should be voting exactly how we want them to because we're paying them, right? That doesn't happen. They're telling you we should want. They're telling us that we should listen to them instead of them going, what do you really want? I mean, can you imagine if they really, really sat down with the 240 million people who can vote, or the 200 million people that are eligible to vote, and said, what do you want? And it would be totally different from what they want. They're usually the loudest in the crowd, and that's how they get heard, or that's how they get elected. They're usually, honest people when they first go in, and then they find out, well, I only make X amount count as this representative of the country. But here's this lobbyist who's a capitalist coming in to the senator who's in a socialist situation and saying, because your salary's capped by this socialist thing where you're being paid by taxpayers, I'll give you some capitalist money to vote my way. So are you seeing the problem? I don't understand how people are not seeing the problem. And I know, on YouTube, people are having so much fun, talking about Taylor Swift and Beyonce, and they're both wonderful women. But they'd rather do that than listen to what I'm saying. And I'm saying to you that we are neither capitalist nor socialist in full, nor do our politicians govern, and we are not red or blue, we are purple. So when I talk about capitalism, I'm saying, do you guys understand that if we were a true capitalist society, nothing would be regulated at all? So we can't just let corporations run amok. We have to say, there's some sort of regulation. Every time we deregulate, something goes amok, then we have to come back and fix it because the average person can't afford what a capitalist society wants to do all the time. And then if you're 100% socialist, there's no incentive to make more money or to perform or to be better at your job because everybody's going to be treated the same way. I can tell you back 50 years ago, I knew someone in the military who said, why do I need to excel? I'm only going to get this promotion when I'm up for it. It won't matter. And that was very deflating to this person, that there was no chance for him to elevate himself, like go from here up to there because of the system. In a capitalist society, you often have to pay your dues, don't get me wrong, but you could go from here to a higher position, get a higher salary, get money thrown at you. But in our system of Congress, you are paid, you have this medical insurance, you have this salary, and indeed they vote themselves raises, which in a world where we have inflation, it's fair. But then they have this influence that says, I'll pay for your kids' college if you'll just vote for this subsidy, or you'll vote to get this bridge built for my construction company, or you'll vote for this gun stuff, or I'll vote for this grocery stuff. Do you guys understand how it works? And if you are out there voting for people who are conning you, shame on you. Dig deep. Understand that hearing what you want to hear that causes you not to be fearful is not the same as voting intelligently. It's not the same as being an informed voter. And capitalism aside, because that's what they preach, is that we're going to lower medical. No, you're not. Insurance is the biggest lobby in the country. We're going to get more jobs. You're not, because in the capitalist society, jobs are created by capitalists. We're going to fix the public school education program. No, you're not, because really, federally, we should be subsidizing our teachers so they get the salary from their state or county or city, and then we give them incentives to be teachers, because the future depends on intelligent kids. Totally. I coach high schoolers every time I go in the classroom, and I coach them on money issues. They don't know anything. Why? Because honestly, in a capitalist society, it pays to have people not know so you can con them. Capitalism can con you. I'm not against capitalism. I have warmth for true, honest capitalism, but I also know that you mix it with socialism in order to keep things kind of even, and we're getting out of control again. And honestly, people that run the majority of the money in the world, they own the majority of money in the world. By the way, money is fake. It's only as good as we make it in our society, but they're running the world on their power with money, not with what's good for you and me. So capitalism run amok is not a good thing. Socialism run amok is not a good thing. But when you think about that the government is run and those people are paid by our tax money and they're not doing what you need them to do, and I'm telling you, you'll never get anybody that can govern from the extreme and really be successful. You have to govern in that 70%, the purple part, because those are the people that you rely on. Everybody should be included. So when someone says, I'm including everybody, they don't necessarily mean it. They have to take into consideration the whole spectrum, 100% of the population, and then get to a place where capitalism and socialism can work together, because we have a government that's run on taxes, we have a military that's run on taxes, and we have capitalism telling you and me, I'm sorry, but you just didn't do well enough to be a multimillionaire. Too bad, so sad. Stop taking that from people. Don't buy it. There are people that are always going to be poor. There are people that are always going to be in the lower middle class. And when this country got rid of a thriving middle class, which is the most important thing, because the middle class has the heart to take care of the lower class and make sure that they have what they need. And the middle class is the one that does the most donations, that are the biggest consumers of regular things. And then you have the upper middle class who, they get a little snooty and we go, oh, we've worked our way out and, we deserve this. And they sort of want to connect with the top echelon and they get upset when they can't. So we have the top tier and then we have the upper middle class. We have the very rich, the comfortable, the upper middle class, the lower middle class, and then we have the people who are struggling. And in the past, when we were thriving, the upper middle class and everybody took care of each other. And we just sort of said, yeah, the rich are the rich. What can we do about it? But now we're saying, no, something's wrong. The disparity is more than just, let's helping hand to someone. The disparity is dangerous. The disparity is unkind. The disparity is uncharitable. And the disparity, dare I say it, is not very godly. And I don't even get into any of that stuff, but I'm just saying it just seems like we've set bar of, if you're not here, too bad for you. Yet we give a government to run us on our own money, and then we're being told we're not important. So anyway, capitalism 100% doesn't work. Socialism 100% doesn't work. It's a combination of the two. And when you hear some politician rail against socialism, say, hey, sit down. Just sit down. Are you going to give up your salary and your pension and your medical when you get out of office? Oh, you're going to keep it? Oh, my tax money is going to keep that? Oh, okay. So you are socialist in a way. You're okay with living off my tax money. Oh, okay. I know I've been on a rant, but that's the problem. You guys need to think. And I'm telling you that, read the definitions of the two of them and realize that this country is run by both. And that what we don't need is fascism. But that's more an ideology. But socialism and capitalism, those two work together. But when one gets a little out of control, we suffer. We have to keep them balanced. Always remember, we have to keep them balanced, always. When you get too amok, it doesn't go well. And this country is right now amok. So anyway, that as always, that is my opinion. I've been around and I kind of know what I'm talking about, but I know I get nasty comments all the time and I've been called some of the nastiest things. I go, gosh, I'm just a nice little old lady. What are you doing? There you go. So thank you for watching, listening, and like and subscribe. And I promise I'll bring way more topics that, will make you think or make you mad or make you happy. I don't know. So thank you so much.